the west coast of Orange County, California. From the Pacific perspective to the Atlantic perspective. From liberal craziness to conservative idealism. From Christianity to atheism belief systems. Welcome to the TheGrayZone Roundtable with Rectify and Wingman at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Revolution-radio.com.
Total freedom is a concept I came up with to describe the ultimate outcome of this project. It is the idea that you will be totally free to be your highest and best self, that we come into our destiny by throwing off all of the shackles that we and others put onto us. The best thing about the total freedom concept is that it is totally attainable and no power can stop you. You can become free without confrontation, coercion, or violence. It takes very little energy, and it is something that you can pass on to others, including future generations. Most of us are simply trying to become financially free. The problem I realized early on in life is that you can become financially free and never your highest and best self. I grew up knowing people that had financially everything, and I mean everything, and they were miserable. And yet that is what we're programmed in society to do, to chase after becoming financially free. So many people sacrifice so much for this financial freedom that when and if they get there, they become depressed. I have identified 6 freedoms that one must attain in order to become totally free. The first freedom is physical freedom, the ability to live your life healthy and pain-free. The next freedom is financial freedom, to be debt-free and create generational wealth so that you will have the ability to do what you want to do and to be a blessing unto others. The third, political freedom. This is not just the freedom to vote and have a say in politics, but free from ideas that keep us divided against each other. The next one is intellectual freedom, to question everything and logically process information so that we are free from false choices that limit us. The fifth step is emotional freedom, to be rid of toxic thoughts and people. The final step is spiritual freedom, the ability to connect to a higher power and fulfill our destiny. When we are free in all those areas, we can become our highest and best self. It is only then that we can lift others around us to show them the way. As this sweeps through society, the world is changed. It is very important to see that this path of freedom is one that is inside of us. This is unlike everything we've ever been taught. We cannot change the outside world for us to become free. We must change ourselves so that the world can become free.
And welcome to the Gray Zone. This is Rectify.
This is Wingman.
And happy Monday night, Tuesday morning around the world. And I played that clip because it represents what this station represents, and that is freedom. Before I go any further, though, let me give out the number. This is an open round table. You can bring any thoughts. Doesn't matter the topic. We don't have a topic set. I just like to start with something. 347-688-2902. That's 347-688-2902. Okay, big numbers, big numbers. Speaking of big numbers, we appreciate the 960 we're at right now as far as donations to keep us pumping. We have a little bit more to go and about half a month to get there. So keep it coming at freedomslips.com. We are 100% listener supported. I'm sure you hear that all day long if you listen to us religiously. But yeah, you can also Skype in better quality name than that long number too. That's AskJack. That's the Skype contact you want to request a contact from, and we'll get you in here. It's ASSJACK 666. AskJack 666. So, Southern California, beautiful day today. We had some overcast, possibility of a thunderstorm. They teased us. I love thunderstorms. I know a lot of people out there want to hate on me as they're going through crazy weather for the last couple of years. We've been drought weather, boring. So, a little taste of some lightning and some rain would have been nice. How about you, Wingman? How's the Queen treating you?
Yeah, weather over here is grey, which is quite normal. We've had quite a good summer, but today is grey again. But I went fishing, lobster fishing yesterday, and it was grey and windy again. But yeah, I've been trying my hand at lobster fishing, not having much luck because I do like lobster. It's my favourite ever food, and I'll eat it till I'm ill. But yeah, things are good over here. We've got. I want to come back to that introduction topic that you just mentioned, which is a really nice little piece of audio you played there about freedom. It's great to be reminded. In fact, it was a bit of a revelation when I realised how fundamental freedom was to my own spiritual evolution, but I'll come back to that in a sec. Yeah, just something I've noticed happening in the UK. The government's trying to rush through a bill with regards to phone and internet data, and the law they're trying to pass, or rush through, should I say, is with regards to the keeping or being able to access and keep data records on phones, location, what you've been up to on your phones, and they're trying to prevent, they're trying to rush it through to prevent the phone companies from deleting. There's obviously some kind of a date that's looming or on the horizon with regards to how long phone companies have to keep their data for. So they're about to delete their data, but this bill's going through to allow the government to access the data. The interesting thing is, on the other side of the pond, the Senate is also trying to rush through a cybersecurity bill to broaden NSA powers and allow corporations to legally pass on their own data records with regards to internet activity, and also shield those companies from being sued by citizens, regardless. This is the interesting part. Regardless of terms of condition contracts or terms of service contracts. So, you could say in your contract with an internet provider, for example, that they do not pass data on to third parties, blah, blah, blah. And yet this would override that. So, the laws in that respect is, again, a little bit grey and confusing for people now, because you can have something in your contract and then it's overwritten by another law. Meaning, that aspect of the contract is pretty much irrelevant. So, this isn't great in terms of clarity of the law. But it's interesting how it's happening on both sides. I think obviously the UK have been talking to the US, and also I think this has an effect with regards to what Snowden's been up to, and kind of putting a dampener on what Snowden's disclosed. In other words, it's like, we've been caught, now we're going to increase our powers. So it's a bit concerning that they're trying to get that through. And obviously it's never in our best interests. When they do these things, they say it's for terrorism. Bullshit. Because most of the... in fact, can you name one recent terrorist act that hasn't had the fingerprints of a government kind of involvement, or CIA or intelligence service involvement somewhere along the line? I can't.
No, I can't. I've never heard of TSA or any of those alphabet agencies actually doing anything against in the act against the war on terror. They end up being pointed out as the terrorists, and then they're disappeared or silenced, if you know what I mean. And yeah, right. Especially if they whistleblow. But over here, what you're speaking of is called the PRISM system, and it's Department of Homeland Security. So it's PRISM, PRISM. It's protect, respond, inform, secure, and monitor. And it's basically, like you said, they install in it your ISP, your internet service provider. So all the laws within the wiretapping, they get privatized at that point, but yet that corporation is now in bed with law that has been passed through executive order. So, and if any citizen tries to litigate and takes it to the Supreme Court, by the time anybody with any kind of financial means to even do so, by the time they get halfway through their case, there's already going to be new executive pen pushing by Mr. Obama, and we'll have a new rabbit hole that you'll have to travel through, and they're going to get their way, period. And I wanted to thank everybody on Noreen's Wild at Heart Roundtable before us here. They were speaking of just this, all the smart meters and the Energy Star appliances that can spy on us, and basically anything with the microchip in it these days has the ability to watch and listen and probably even take your thought waves and translate them. Okay, and they can probably even inject thoughts into you. I mean, we're talking local devices like the size of a marker or something. I know they have them the size of a marker. They could take out a heart, point and shoot, and it puts out a millimeter wave, and yeah, that's real CIA weaponry right there. So I can only imagine what they're doing to the citizenry.
Yeah, and you know, Cameron, our Prime Minister Cameron gave a little speech in front of the cameras yesterday, and this is one of the classic tactics of Western government is they will use a current problem that people identify with for the sake of increasing their powers. So one of the things he said is, we face real and credible threats to our security from serious and organised crime, from the activity of paedophiles, from the collapse of Syria, the growth of ISIS in Iraq, and Al-Shabaab in East Africa. I'm simply not prepared to be a Prime Minister who has to address the people after a terrorist incident and explain that I could have done more to prevent it. So you see this paedophile thing, they're using that for the sake of increased powers.
Oh,
obviously that's a concern for everyone.
Oh yeah,
but not at the expense of people's freedoms.
I think every congressman, everyone in the House, Senate, every alphabet agency agent, I think all of them, the powers that be have dirt on every one of them, just in case they slip with their orders. They can just first thing they go for is just to smear the hell out of your character. So most definitely, that's cover your ass as far as controlling your little useful idiot, right?
And when he was given this news conference, and he said that and to protect against terrorist acts, this is what gets to me. Why? I wish someone had shouted out just then, well, hold on, you guys are the real terrorists. I mean, something simple like that. If I were there, I would have shouted it out. Because at the end of the day, from what we've witnessed, with regards to past so-called terrorist actions, like I say, they've got the government fingerprints all over them, and so this it's another, it's BS, it's BS, and I'm actually surprised, given the atrocities the Western government has committed overseas, during the wars that we've been through. I'm surprised there aren't actual, more real, genuine terrorists. And a part of me thinks that they know what's going on and they don't want to exasperate the situation by, their own revenge and their, addressing their own hurt. Because I'm sure that, it's like we're breeding terrorists as we go along. Each time we enter a war, each time we enter a conflict, we're breeding potential terrorists. And of course, with regards to perpetuating the war machine, this is what Western government wants, because war is profitable. It has been for a long time. We don't need to be going to war in this day and age. There's no two ways about it.
The machine does not care about flesh and blood. The machine only cares about money and profits.
Right. We don't need it. We don't need war. This is a facade. This is a pretense that's being sold to us on a daily basis.
So we got to get self-sufficient. We got to do our own. We got, like you're doing. You're going down and lobstering and fishing and cooking fresh seafood. That's awesome. I like vegetables in my apartment out of containers. I do all my cooking. I do everything from scratch, straight up. Flour on up if it's a bread or a pastry, and all my savories or all my spices and marinades, all of that. I do everything myself. I use the raw ingredients. And it's so much better that way, so much cheaper, tastes so much better for you. But, it's all about self-sufficiency, and it's about, the wealth, financial freedom, political freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. The political freedom is easy. That's really easy. It's like, this paper has no power over me. There's no jurisdiction through this paperwork. And there's ways you can tell that paperwork that you do not have jurisdiction over me. Straight up. It's just people are too lazy to look into it, and they run with fear.
Mm. And also one of the problems is that people claim to have jurisdiction over you. Any law or any terms and conditions that claims to have just jurisdiction over you that violates your freedoms, should be discarded immediately, should be de-emphasized immediately. Because at the end of the day, as your clip noted, freedom is, and like I said, I had this realization a while ago, freedom is fundamental to the evolution of self. Freedom allows you to answer your calling. Freedom allows you to manifest your desires. Freedom allows you to explore your spiritual nature. Freedom allows you to tap into aspects of your environment that you might not have been able to otherwise. So anything that encroaches, is it encroaches or encroaches? Encroaches. Anything that encroaches upon your freedoms should be subject to de-emphasis. Now, one of the problems we do have at the moment that we need to protect ourselves from is the law, the anyone coming down upon you when you're exercising your freedoms, and one of those problems is the police. So we actually need to protect ourselves from the very people that are meant to be protecting us.
Yeah, they're terrorists right off the bat because they always they null and void your Fourth Amendment right against illegal search and seizure without a warrant, and without probable cause.
Right. I mean, they are terrorists because,
and that's what they're doing with the prison system and the phone companies now with all this NSA spying. Right away, you're going against one of our constitutional rights, so therefore you become a traitor, a terrorist.
Right,
so,
and
but see, and here's backing to that. They'll say, oh, but it's not necessarily your property because it's running through wires. It's information. Then you ask them the question, then how can intellectual information be patented? And why do you guys charge so much to patent intellectual information? So, right? You can't have it both ways.
Right. And also with regards to patenting, the whole process of getting, you see, the process of getting innovation to market is a really cumbersome process as well, and that's another part of it. We need to allow innovation to flow, and that would happen when we start exercising our freedoms. But like was said, the police are a terrorist organization. They do terrorize people on a daily basis. We've seen that time and time again. They're basically the corporate henchmen, the government and corporate henchmen that enforce the rules. And the thing is, there's more and more rules that are emerging, and it's getting to the point now where people, it's like I will dictate what the law is as I please, whatever they please as they go along their daily routines kind of thing, and so people are feeling threatened. People are feeling as though they can't ask the police questions when they're stopped. They can't, exercise their own rights, what few they have left, kind of thing, and it's getting out of hand. So we need to find a way in terms of protecting ourselves from the police, and that is doable. There was a guy called Schaefer Cox in Fairbanks, Arizona, who was actually jailed for conspiracy to murder a judge, which was obviously BS again. But he was proposing what he called a Liberty Bell system, whereby the community organizes itself so that if there are any incursions with the police, then one would be able to call a number up and everyone would come to that scene and protect your rights.
You can find services like you're speaking of over at a site I like to visit a lot. It's called copblock.org. COPBLOCK.org. But here's how it's rolling here in our part of the world. Seriously, there's nobody overseeing the cops, the overseers. There's no overseers for the overseers. They oversee themselves. How well does that work? That's like having a gang narc on one of its boys. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But check this clip.
I'm recording everything that's happening now.
Stop talking because they're talking about.
We're going to come inside. Just let you know that. You're going to come inside?
Without a warrant,
You're going to come inside without a warrant? Probable cause, you're going to kick my door down. There is no domestic violence. There is no domestic violence.
Yelling.
Between two people, I'm right here.
They're filming this. There's 4 cops.
They're gonna fucking shoot.
They're inside their apartment.
Oh, yeah,
How
they got
many
tasers
children
on.
are in the house? There's one child in the house and one is playing outside. Officer, there is one child.
Why are you guys not
This is
coming
San
out?
Diego, California.
Why are you not coming out?
Because we don't live in a police state, sir. Martial law has not been established in this country.
Can you do us a favor? All get down on your ground. Get down on the ground. Put your hands behind your back, because we're gonna kick the door.
He can't record if his hands are behind his back. We need documentation of this violation of their civil rights.
Here they come.
Stay with the door, sir.
Put his hand up. You're gonna kick my door. You kicked my door down. You kikicked my door down.
Get on the ground.
You kicked my door down.
Yes, we did. Get on the ground.
No, you have no right to be in here. You have no right to be in here. You have no right to be here. You don't. You have no right to be in here. Do not touch her. You are assaulting her.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. What the hell was that?
Yeah, it's called just coming in, breaking down your front door of your apartment, and getting tasing you and your wife
In your own home.
in your own home because a neighbor called saying you and your wife were having an argument.
I like arguments now and again. They clear the air.
Right. I mean, you got to release sometimes, you know, but it's come to that. They're like, oh, goody, we got a domestic. Because nowadays, whenever they get a call for domestic violence in California, someone's got to go to jail. That's like the Attorney General's new little law, their moneymaker. So it gives these cops, you know what, when they get those kind of calls.
So that would have been a classic. Incidentally, you know, the police are starting to break the law. That was the case of the police breaking their own laws. The laws
4
of
of
the
them,
country,
3 witnesses.
laws of freedom,
Yeah.
constitutional laws, you name it. Basically every law in the book they broke there, you know what I mean? So that was a classic example whereby we need to protect ourselves from that terrorism. And so, you know, that kind of terrorist, that fear, if you like, you know, obviously, you know, our home is precious to us. We should feel safe in our own homes. When we're not, there's a problem. So that's a classic example where he could have called, you know, a number and had the neighborhood come to his door, protect him from the police. They would have thought twice when they've got several video cameras, people blocking their way, you know, and so on and so forth. And that's important. We have to protect. If freedom is fundamental to the evolution of self and species, then we have to protect our freedoms. We have to fight for our freedoms, and we have to allow our freedoms to flourish and emerge so that we can better understand and answer our callings and understand the world around us and be more, you know what I'm saying? It's just fun. It's a fundamental ingredient. If I were making a cake, it'd be like me making a cake without eggs and flour, you know what I mean? It's like, it's an ingredient that's fundamental. So we need to learn to protect it. And it's doable. You can organize something like that in your own neighborhood, even if it's just your own block, you know, and you'll find comfort in doing that. Well, get the numbers of everyone, tell them what it's about, say that, you know, obviously the police state is emerging and getting worse, and we need to protect ourselves from these violations so that we can exercise our freedoms without fear of persecution.
Yeah, that's why they did the whole Zimmerman and Martin thing. You know, they brought that full blown. Also, was they don't our neighborhood watches. We don't have really crap for neighborhood watches anymore. Neighbors barely even talk to each other. But they made an example right there. Like, you don't even want to watch out for the bad guys, let alone watching out for the real bad guys, which are all the crooked cops. You know. So good luck with that. It's a good idea, though, to have a phone number, you know, on speed dial, or a text message you can speed dial to real quick, and they just get your GPS, you know, and anybody in the area can stroll down to your location with cameras and document. I'm trying to find, there's actually a service that does that, Matt. I hope I find it by the end of the show, but I have a good feeling I will.
Because, you know, in this day and age, it's all well and good isolating yourself from everyone else around you, but at the end of the day, you know, there's power in numbers. And so if you can organise something in your neighbourhood, maybe a little get-together, a little village fete, a little coffee evening in a hall somewhere or someone's house that has maybe a big garden or something on a nice day, a little barbecue maybe, put some flyers through the doors. You see, you go a long way to protecting your neighborhood and making it a peaceful neighborhood and getting to know your neighbors, because power in numbers does work. You know, it's hard to infringe upon your freedoms, to impose unjust laws when there's other people protecting you, when there's other people around you.
Sorry about that. I'm going to drop that link in for all these cool little smartphone apps, and it's all about what we're talking about here, protecting yourselves for these men that think they're gods. So here's that link. You'll see it in about a minute. Oh.
You know, I wasn't thinking the other day, it was quite a good analogy. Oh yeah, I saw oh, this made me laugh. For the police, I saw a picture of a police that reminded me of contraception the other day, because you know how with contraception you use that for protection. Well, these police were padded up like American football players. They looked not far off, you know. So much, you know, big pads all around them and helmets and, you know, gloves. You know, it's like, geez, are you really scared of getting hit that much that you have to put all that padding on? That's sad.
Well, it's more intimidation factor.
Yeah, I know.
Scare the hell out of you. Darth Vader look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got the door.
And they've started covering up their faces over here as well now, by the way.
Oh, yeah? They're masking now.
Who's at the door, Rex? Hi.
Oh, it's Heather Holman. Welcome, Heather. We can discuss.
Hello, Heather.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine. A little pooped out from the last Noreen's roundtable.
Oh,
but I'm
you're
here.
not pooped out from talking. Come on.
No, I'm not a party pooper.
Welcome to the Gray Zone.
Hi. Can I sit down, please?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you.
So what's on your mind?
I just named my pet spider that I've had for a couple weeks. I decided just to keep him where he's at. You know, I was going to relocate it. But he likes it where he's at, and I named him Down Low.
Down Low.
For DL. Daddy Long Legs. Daddy Long.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you
I don't like
other
Daddy Long
spiders?
Nope. He's self-sufficient.
How's that work?
We've established our boundaries and got just like, you know, a mutual level of communication. It's fine.
So it doesn't need to eat?
I'm sure he eats.
Oh, so it's an open container type of
Like an open buffet. Just kidding.
No, well, I'm picturing like an aquarium or something.
Well, I'll have to show you a picture. It's like he found a little corner, and it's like where my toilet is. It's like my bathroom's really small. It's like where my toilet is. Like if you're standing there going to the bathroom, you'd look just out of the corner of your eye, and there's the spider web, and it goes in a little, circle. Like a half circle to give you plenty of room.
So he's a bathroom spider.
It's a bathroom spider.
Okay.
He loves it there. It's like a little Q-tip with
free
eyelashes.
He's a free-range daddy long legs.
It could be a granddaddy long legs. All I know is that it's looking like the Q-tip part of him is getting a little bigger. And I swear, if it's going to have other spiders, I've got to relocate.
Yeah, because they come out in the hundreds. That's going to freak
Well, I mean,
out.
it's cool, and it stays out of my way. We'll just say that.
If it has babies hatching, though, in your bathroom.
Maybe not. Maybe not. He could be full. If it's a daddy long legs, how do they ever have babies? They have a mommy long leg.
They do the dirty first. Then they kill their mate.
I don't like the daddy long leg. Oh, I get it. Maybe that's why they're fat.
Right.
But that would mean they're pregnant.
If you would, Heather.
Let me get that. Hi.
Yeah, we're kind of weird at the Gray Zone, but that's why we're the Gray Zone.
Hi.
Nor black, nor white, nor pink.
I'm not of the Gray Zone. I'm of the Rainbow Zone, and thank you very much for welcoming me.
Hi.
And you can pretend that I'm some sort of stranger, and then something new would happen.
Fun fact of the day: the color pink does not exist. It's a mixture of both ends of the spectrum. And our eyes only can decipher it as what we call pink. So there you go.
Okay. That reminds me of when people say life is an illusion. I'm like, yeah, well, it's a persistent one then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, that's saying someone quoted that, so I'm quoting someone else, but yeah. It's a bloody persistent one.
So how are you, Wingman?
Tepid. That's my.
You're fair to good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I allow moths to live, by the way.
Oh my gosh, have you not triggered Wingman
and
yet?
Spiders and anything.
Gosh.
And ocelots?
Beetles I don't.
Ooh, yeah, beetles. The green ones?
Yeah, no, beetles I can't stand. Oh, and wasps. I was fishing yesterday and there was like wasps everywhere and they were just making me feel itchy and horrible.
Ew, they have teeth.
I nearly got bitten so one flew right onto the side of my eye, and I'm lucky I didn't get stung on the eyeball. I'm really lucky I didn't get stung on the eyeball. I don't know what that would have been like, but I'd imagine it would have been painful.
You're speaking to American people. Do you know how foolish they think that is? They think that's like saying like, oh, there was a spider in the corner. That's nothing. They run around shooting crocodiles.
I'm sure they do. Well, I don't know. I'm not. I've seen. Was it Swamp Man or whatever that program is? But yeah. No. I was quite because like for a few minutes I didn't know if it stung me or not. So I was like, oh no, please don't let my eyeball be stung. I could imagine like have a swollen eye and just walking around. Was it Einstein? Vobo said Einstein said that. But the illusion thing, by the way. Anyone got any good quotes? I like quotes.
It wasn't Einstein. It was like Kim Kardashian. She said, "I can't be walking around with a swollen eye." She had to have eyebrows.
Haste makes waste.
What was that?
Haste makes waste.
Yes, that's Latin actually. Mm-hmm.
Haste makes waste.
Haste with an H.
Oh, haste makes waste. Yeah, Einstein's one was the same mind that creates a problem cannot solve it, or something like that.
He said something also. He said, I don't know which weapons World War III will use, but I know World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
My favourite one of his is the definition of madness to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results.
Right. That's the definition of insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite a cool one.
We have just mixed up so many different quotes at that point, but like they all make sense, so that's all positive as far as I'm concerned. So I say nothing.
I lost my quote. I freaking deleted. I had a brilliant load of quotes on my desktop. I deleted them. I was saving them over the years, and
That you made up yourself?
A lot of them, yeah.
Oh, bummer, man.
Yeah, they were quite good.
You know what I liked about Albert Einstein, and I learned this from Douglas Dietrich, is that he had the same pair of clothes for every day of the week, so he did never have to worry or waste his energy and his mind thinking about what he was going to wear. And I can totally relate with that. When I'm trying to look for something to wear, I'll try on everything I have. And you know...
Heather, were these the same clothes that just looked the same design?
No, the same identical outfit, one for every day.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if I had the same clothes, I wouldn't have to, have a selection either. It's called the Closet Jamboree.
There is one I remember that I wrote down. Remove the plank from your own eye before you tell me there's a splinter in mine. I like that.
My gosh. Yeah. Yes, it's very, very important. I agree with that totally, 100%.
We used to call people planks when I was a kid. You plank. It was an insult.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember? Did you? Because we're not from the same place. We're like, even though we all think we are like the same, we're not. I'm from the Midlands. He's from the South. And we used to have that. Used to call people planks.
Is that like the wrong side of the railroad tracks or something?
But no, a very posh place in the Midlands that I came from, and it seems like I can connect with Wingman. So there's something there that, like, I think his education system was similar to mine. So, like, yes, even though we're not from the same place, a kind of a similar background.
So you have a worthless piece of paper that you paid a lot of money for too?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't pay anything. So how are you anyway?
Good. I'm fine. I'm
not used to being quiet.
College, it's a scam, okay? You put 50,000 plus down to be a productive member of society, right? then you should be getting paid for your time, right? Okay, it's designed to make you a debt slave for your entire life. Yes. College is essential. If you're smart, you'll get a scholarship. If you're stupid, you pay for someone else's scholarship. It's a brilliant system which rewards hard work. And
it's becoming more and more ridiculous.
Listen.
Is it clear? Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
And that's not counting the insane...
Actually, can you do that for me? You're really good at doing the hijack of it. Go ahead. I can't do it. But I like it when you do that. It's kind of funny.
That's not counting the insane fun that can be...
Okay, can I have my 90 seconds? Can I have my 90 seconds, yeah? Let me just have my 90 seconds.
Hey, what's good for the goose? It's always good for the gander.
Hi, Jeff. We still love you, brother. Hope everything is well. We're glad Deacon is feeling better and up and at him again. Heard him earlier today, and he sounded great, so right on. But yeah, I mean, smart people get scholarships, right? Look, smart people do. They make great.
That's what they say.
Great slaves. The best Americans to offer never went to college, actually. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, George Washington, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Grover Cleveland, Harry Truman, Mark Twain, William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, and it goes on and on and on. I mean,
good stuff.
Yeah, college is a bunch of crap. Just to put you in debt. Just to put you in debt. I mean, yeah, sure, you might go out and have kids a little early because you're having too much fun.
Well, it doesn't mean that, like, people that go to college and have all the qualifications are stupid. It's just like, you don't need to do that to become smart.
You come back with penicillin that you have to use every day, if you know what I mean.
I'll be quiet now because I know all of you can speak. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, smart is, I sometimes think smartness is a transient thing. So, yes, someone might have a degree in geography or something and know their way around town. But, if the SHIT hits the fan and I'm a survival expert, then who's the intelligent one in that scenario, So it's like a transient thing. I guess it depends on what the task at hand as to who can offer the best input to that task at that time, and they would be the most intelligent person at that time, So I've met a lot of dumb so-called smart people that have a paper smart,
Yeah, but how often do you got to sit there and do an algebraic equation while you're shopping at the grocery store? Or filling up your tire with air, or just driving to work and whatever you call work. I mean, there's such a small quotient of people, small percentage of people that really get to use skills like that in any sort of job. There's only so much use for them, only so many positions to fill.
I quite like, after a cashier rings up the amount, so that the change comes up, I quite like giving a different amount of money. So that I get a whole number back in return.
You are cruel. Like watching them scratch their head.
And then you watch their faces. It
could probably do it after they type in the number to their till.
Yeah. It could be something simple like, it was 10.47 and I'll give them 20.47 after they've rung it up. And then their poor faces just go blank.
That's horrible. Wingman.
Yeah, but it's simple freaking arithmetic. They can't do that. They got issues, man. You know what I mean?
I always back change to people when I was in retail. I would do that.
Race car spelled backwards is race car.
That's called an that's called
That's called a mirror.
Starts with an A. It's
it's
like mom, dad.
Anagram, not an anagram.
Oh, really? There's a name for that?
Shoot. Anybody know the word?
Something to do with M. The letter is M. That is a malindrome.
It's like
palindrome. P. It's P. Palindrome.
Palindrome. Yeah.
I love that word. Palindrome.
Yeah. So was George
Palindrome.
Soros' last name.
Palindrome.
That evil man. His last one's a palindrome too. Soros.
I like that word. And I like onomatopoeia.
What does that mean?
What's that mean?
I forgot. It's like bam, or I don't know what onomatopoeia. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's like an expression, like bam, zoom, I think.
Wow.
Words is onomatopoeia is words that sound as if they mean exactly what they mean. You don't actually need to understand what the word means. You can feel.
Like bam.
Moo,
That's it.
bang,
Like bam.
bang,
Exactly.
bang as well, yeah.
Zip.
Now I'm seeing Batman comics in my head.
Bang, crash, boom.
It's Travesty and Sean David Morton. So yeah, what's the plan for the week? Who's got work?
Silence. We need some.
Really?
We need that. We
I
need
don't-
that.
I said the little red hen.
tumbleweed sound.
That's
The
horrible.
tumbleweed sound.
You can't have
got
that.
work.
I did complete a fabulous piece of art today. I was very pleased. Very pleased.
Tell me it's not rated X.
It's not.
What'd you do? Is it a
Rated
painting?
G. Glue. I love glue.
Glue painting. That's cool.
Glue and pictures I cut up. Like pictures that you can't even tell what they are, but like I took a book and I cut it into tiny pieces and weird shapes and then I made a picture out of it and it's like a huge picture.
Like a collage, but with different.
Yeah, but in a way, I mean, it's got this like Spartan knight or something that's like a guard, and he's wearing like a metal cover with an eagle on it, his uniform, you know, and it's from Iraq.
Now, does your artwork sell?
I don't know. I
Have you
don't
tried?
know. No, I usually just give it to people, but I don't try, but I'm sure it would. I just haven't found the appropriate like to plug it in. I mean, my friend has a store, and nobody's ever asked to buy it, so
I think
I thought about auctioning it once.
It's like puffy paint if you're using
Sometimes,
glue, so
no.
you feel it, right?
Like what it is, and then underneath I took, remember when you cut out like little cutout men that hold hands together and they string along? Remember?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I made some of those, and then I made a bigger one of those that kind of goes behind the guy, so it's like an invisible shadow, and you can't tell if he's God or a person, and then it's got all kinds of, I could look at it for hours, put it that way.
Right on. Well,
Yeah.
It's good to enjoy your own art. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, that's the whole purpose.
That's hard to do for most artists, actually.
Sometimes it takes
especially
months.
music.
This is something that I had prepared months ago, and then I forgot. I'm like, when I get glue or whatever, when I get the right glue, and I forgot about it. I had a little bit of glue left, and I'm like, what am I going to glue? And that was it. So it's done. Done, yeah.
So what do you think about all the control over our lives through all of our electronics, all the spying?
I just think of it like this. You can't be mind controlled if you're the mind controller. I mean, like I was telling you on Noreen's thing, I don't have a TV
But
in
look
my
at all
living
that
room.
waste of energy just to try to protect yourself. Like, we're wasting so much energy in defense, just to put up a guard.
Well, why watch TV and sit there and bitch at the TV? Come on.
Oh, that's the only reason I'll watch it these days is so
It's just
reassure
like
myself
your,
that I'm
your
not.
blood pressure, your whole disposition, everything is just shot.
Right. Well, it's to just reassure myself that I'm still not crazy. That stuff out there is.
And if you go to bed at night and the first thing that you do and you close your buzzy, hummy, ringy, weird thing in your head, it's because there's too much going on in your mind. It's not what's happening around you at that time. It's what you've taken in all day.
Crazy people always say they're not crazy, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's always told me I was crazy. Even when I was 4 years old, they told me, Heather, you're crazy.
You go, I'm not crazy.
I'm like, yeah, watch me want to get crazy? I'll be jumping on my bed now.
There's nothing wrong with crazy. Normal scares the hell out of me.
There's no such thing as normal.
Exactly. So when someone says, at least I'm normal, it's like, I run.
Yeah.
Normal.
They don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't do normal.
Yeah. Normal's no fun. Not in this lifetime. I mean, come on. It goes by too quick. You've got to be abnormal, and you've got to have fun with it. And that's it. And, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, which is what these laws are all about, is when someone normal wants to not be normal anymore. That's what it's all about, is to spot those people, spot the threats to the current power elite and power structure, and suppress them This is what this is all about. This is what the Patriot Act is about. This is what these new NSA and UK legislation is all about. It's to suppress the uprisers, those who want to exercise more freedom. You see? That's the real intent.
Got a question in the chat by Lioness. Says, R3 electronics are killing my concentration and ability to function. Answers. Yeah, there's a couple different things you can try. Crystals and pendants, medallions you wear around your neck, are really good. Pyramids, four-sided pyramids. If you do some search engine searches for, electronic harassment protection.
What about those orgone generators?
Yeah, orgone, you can keep, I keep a crystal in my pocket all the time, a small one, and I also wear a Dr. Fred Bell super receptor,
Everybody needs one of those. Seriously, Julie, oh my God, you'll get used to it.
No, that's around my neck.
You'll love it.
And then there's the Pyridome, which I'll wear anytime I'm on the computer.
I'll put a link in chat for the Pyridome, guys.
Yeah, this is all,
Well, I have an answer as well, then rectify.
With all due respect for Dr. Fred Bell.
Julie, all that's required is that you just just make sure that you listen to everything that I say and everything I say is correct. And if that is not correct, then just listen to whatever Dorriebar is saying. And then, just always lie in a bath of beautiful bubble bath with crystals around you. That is all that is required. You do nothing. Enjoy this strange world.
You're not even human, so what's your advice worth?
Well, I have a human body. That's true.
Well, the force might be stronger within you than us mortals.
I can't do that. It's going to get sexual. I'm sorry. I'm not speaking to you guys about anything sexual. Go on.
Well, we're going to a break. You're listening to the Crazy Gray Zone here at Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Our number here is 347-688-2902. Get in here, bring in anything you want to the table. Tell us about your pets. I don't care. Tell us about...
or if you want to call in Skype, it's Freedom Screen, all lowercase, all one word.
That's right. And also, tell us how your summer is going so far, your garden. I want to know what you do to prep for any disaster or downfall of the system that we call civilization occurs. How are you becoming self-sufficient? Give us
and why can't you suck on a penny to make that repel that energy that where people feel like they're being harassed by?
What do you mean?
If you just really a copper penny, it should ground you out if it's in your mouth. I mean, that is something that I've always thought.
No, that's called a virtual ground. That's not a true ground. A true ground goes into the
But
earth.
there's a virtual. Let's tell us about the virtual ground after the break. Can you do that for me, please?
Yeah, it's not going to do any good for EMF. It's going to do good for not blocking EMF, but creating it. It's used for oscillators. But that's a little too technical to create it. It doesn't repel it. You need an actual ground to have a true Faraday cage.
So just don't wear socks or shoes.
And walk in grass and mud that's moist all the time. That would be it. Yeah. But
rectify. I recommend
that around you.
When you're naked, I require that you keep your socks on at all times. Not nice.
Okay, and that is our freak of the Jairo. We'll be back in about four minutes. So stay tuned.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Who owns you? If you're not in control, then someone else is. Join me, Ivy West, for Voices on the Wind, Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in Studio A. I discuss government, health, metaphysics, suppressed science, universal mysteries, little-known incredible facts, alternative energies, and even more than you can imagine. Won't you join us on Revolution Radio Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern for Voices on the Wind with me, Ivy West.
There are lives in the balance, people under fire, children at the cannons.
Because if your head's in the sand, your tail is a target.
Hi everybody, it's me, the Fedge, host of Inside the Eye Live. Before the Sunday mainstream media political pundit talk shows, there's Inside the Eye Live, where we break down some of the weekly mainstream media talking points before the talking points even get aired. Add in some entertaining stories, weather, cats, intriguing and informative guests, and you get one of the most listened to Saturday morning streaming media political talk shows going today. And it's all right here on our flagship station, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. So join me, the Fetch, for Inside the Eye Live every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. It is truly intelligent media for the politically aware.
I have worked with the CIA, NSA, Templars, and Bilderbergers. Now I work for you. My show will disclose secrets, science, and esoteric knowledge. Join me, Stephen D. Kelly, for 2 hours every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Studio A. You can also listen to previous shows by going to youtube.com/Free Revolution Radio.
Anti-aircraft gun pointed to action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific Wartime this morning.
We are far stronger than we were 10 weeks ago.
General Quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
Nervous monsters hold. I'll do the mastermind around here.
You who have not seen it do not know what hell looks like from the top.
Well, check it out every Tuesday and Saturday on Revolution Radio. It's a double dose of the internationally recognized renegade military historian Douglas Dietrich.
You'll stay right where you are till I tell you to move out.
Yeah, that's right. Tuesdays from 10 to midnight Eastern Time. Join Douglas Dietrich as he exposes the truth in hidden history on his show Critical Omissions. And then our human weapon of mass destruction is back once again to take your calls on Saturday Night Firing Lines. Both from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Revolution Radio. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
TheGrayZone Roundtable, Revolution Radio, at freedomslips.com. 100% listener-supported radio. No corporate ties, corporate dictating our freedom of speech. It shall remain that way as long as we are supported by you. Join us, 347-688-2902. Enter the Gray Zone.
Hello and welcome back to the Grey Zone. We're 100% listener supported, as you well know. We could do with some of your money, so if you're a few pounds overweight and next time you go shopping, don't buy any of those chocolates and those treats and what you save from buying those, and you obviously look better for it. Just donate to us instead. We're joined at the moment by obviously Rectify, Jairo and Heather. We haven't got a topic at the moment, so if you want to bring one up, come and join us on air. And the call-in number, what's the call-in number?
347-688-2902.
Yeah, there you have it.
Well, let me say, if you think you've eaten too many chocolates and a few too many candies, and your hair looks great, then there is no problem. You're gorgeous. Do not even worry about it. You are gorgeous. Do not even worry about it. You're beautiful. But please do not eat too many of them. They're not very good for the mind. It's a neurotoxin. And you know what, guys? If you've got incredible biceps and incredible pecs or something, then just understand how fantastic you are. As you walk down the street, understand that you are the master of all. There you go. And please donate by pressing freedomslips.com. Donate.
Much appreciated. We wouldn't be here for going on 4 years if it wasn't for everybody out there. So, yes, all of us volunteer. Money goes for infrastructure, pays for electricity, pays for the bandwidth, pays for the T3 line, you know, everything, all the hardware, all the electric. Yeah, I'm going to go in circles here. Yeah, it pays for the servers. It pays for all the hosting. It gets us out there to your ears. Freedom slips from our mouths.
And sometimes there are unforeseen emergencies where people need things and that are hosts here, and they get them too. So it's not just, you know, it's for everybody. It's not just for the station. It's for all of the hosts. You know, if you prefer a particular host, make a donation and just put that is the host that you're supporting their airtime, you know.
Or we've got off-site government websites, basically, you know, FDA, the Food Drug Administration sites. We've got growing websites, all offline on a flash drive. You can also get at our merchandise section, or there's a banner ad at the top of freedomslips.com. It's called the Bullet USB drive, and it's EMP proof. I know a lot of people say, well, my computer's fried. How am I going to read the damn flash drive? Well, you can have a laptop or a small tablet or a small notebook, something like that, netbook inside of a Faraday cage, which is a metallic structure that surrounds it. Your microwave is a natural Faraday cage, by the way. So if it fits in your microwave and you think we're about to get a pulse, we have some sort of warning, just throw your laptop in there. You know, you're going to have a laptop. Chances are, there's so many computers out there, there's going to be some that are protected and some rubbish pile that didn't get nailed and the electronics will still work. So it's a good thing to have is that survival USB bullet drive. We have seed packs in different sizes, but all non-GMO, all heirloom. They will produce growable seeds season after season. You can find those there also. Self-sufficiency. What else? Tons of articles on what's going on in the world, what you're not being told by the mainstream, lamestream media. But yeah, check us out.
YouTube on archives?
YouTube on archives? Yeah, that's Talk Revolution Radio is our channel. You can go check out your favorite host archives over there. And you can hit up our archives. We're kind of the black sheep of the family with the round tables. We don't get archived. But I archive everything that we do. And that you can find our channel at TheGrayZone Radio. So.
And it helps. Watch all of the advert before it. This is what adds a little bit of change to the people that are making such a huge contribution to life. So, like, as long as that's done, that's something. And actually, you'll probably enjoy your archive.
Well, we were talking about electricity, talking about... I'm going to just read something kind of off the wall, an article I came across a while ago. I mean, we were talking about smart meters and the prison system from DHS spying on everything we do electronically. How there's no privacy any longer. And by the way, there's no anonymity on the net. I don't care what kind of layers of VPNs or what have you you're using. It's a facade. You're just wasting your time. If they want to know your stuff, they will get your stuff. No problem. But this article is basically called, I saw Satan fall like lightning to the earth, which in Hebrew is Barak Bama. It means as lightning fell to earth.
Seriously?
Androids all around us. Okay. This is his prison and why he's known as the prince of the power of the air. He can flow through conductors as an angel of light, which is electricity. He has brought fire down from heaven in full sight of men. He can literally manipulate computer data of all forms through manipulating the zeros and ones switches by controlling the flow of wattage of what we call electricity. Through the use of technology, he will construct vessels for him and his army of fallen angels to react in our physical world through the image of the beast, cyborgs, or humans who have taken the mark of the beast, the silicon chip, which is also the number of man, silicon and carbon, which is 666. 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. Trons, get it? Okay, Tron, robot, cyborg. The beast, the Antichrist government, have already begun implementing the mark of the beast through willing use, but also by force through the imprisonment of individual spirits, leaving the public almost totally ignorant of the collapse of the American government at war with its own government. I believe this is happening at this very moment. I repeat, this is not a test. In 2009 and 10, the Army showcased the use of microchip electrodes inside of a locust to remotely control its nerve impulses, which can be seen through YouTube today. So yeah, if you want to look at remote control locusts, you can check that stuff out. DARPA, they do some crazy work over there in Boston Dynamics, which Google owns Boston Dynamics now, which is very scary. They make all the robots for DARPA. That's the Defense Advanced Research Project Authority or what have you for the government, for the military. But I repeat, they have mapped out the necessary genetic coding to fuse electric to biosignal impulses for controlling all voluntary movements. This means that those who take a Verichip or any form of RFID tagging implants have already received the mark of the beast because it has achieved 2 basic functions. 1, the fusing of computer silicon, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, to our biocarbon, also the number of man. Carbon is 666. Muscles. Okay, it's radio wave frequency detection. To perform outside functioning of the victim's body, they only need radio waves. The same thing that's the same thing as the Army locust implant tests they did. People, Babylon is about to fall. There could be thousands of millions already controlled right before us. The day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night. So I thought that was interesting tie, kind of get a little biblical there to piss some people off that are listening, but what do you guys think of that?
I thought, I didn't know that. What did you say that Obama meant in Hebrew or something? Or
yeah, it's from lightning. So I'll look it up exactly. I don't want to misquote here. But yeah,
it sounded like Barack Obama, Satan falling from,
as lightning fell from heaven to earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Satan is described as entering the scene, basically, or the Antichrist.
Well, I don't associate lightning with anything.
Well, here's another one.
I wouldn't give them that credit.
Here's another relevant paper. Okay, anything with a microchip inside is now monitored closely by the National Security Agency based in Fort Meade, Maryland. The NSA is in truth controlled by the Company of Jesus soldiers, James Shea, S.J., and Thomas Schmolish, S.J., both commanded by James Grummer, S.J., back in the Curia Generalizia of Missile-Protected and Sovereign Borgo Santo Spirito base in Rome. You'll also notice that the Director of National Intelligence is a Roman Catholic trained by the Company of Jesus at Georgetown University. That's where all the Jesuits come from. By the name of James Clapper. The NSA can get away with blue murder as an order for them to take any responsibility for anything they need to be personally named. Therefore, if someone by law isn't supposed to be tapped, this means nothing to the NSA, unless it's stated that this person cannot be tapped by the NSA. As you can imagine, this is never occurring, so the NSA gets away with blue murder. As for Windows operating systems, this is a system which just makes it so much easier for them compared to others. Do not trust the Apple operating systems either. Both Steve Jobs and Bill Gates are brethren within the papal order of the Teutonic Knights of St. Mary's Hospital in Jerusalem, controlled by the Grand Master Bruno Platter. Note, the Company of Jesus has controlled the Teutonic Knights since 1809, whilst also controlling the Knights of Malta since 1798. Both these crusading orders being controlled by the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem, itself taken over by the Company of Jesus no later than 1814. So do you trust either of these corporations known as Apple or Windows? Anybody with any sense would know that Linux systems must be much better than all around than Windows and Mac operating systems. Otherwise, all these basically alphabet agencies, including NASA, wouldn't be using Linux. Even British intelligence, MI5, MI6, and the Knights of Malta, Richard Branson, has used Linux on his Virgin Atlantic airline carrier in the past and probably still does. Never forget the Vista, or should we say Virtual Instant Surveillance Tactical Application. Yeah, Vista sucked. That was written by some guy named Craig Oxley. But yeah, I seen all that coming. It just so happened, they pushed out new hardware that Vista would run on, and XP would have trouble with because of drivers and stuff. They pushed all that out on, and, like IT people, they're greedy. They want to go out and, yeah, your entire company needs to upgrade, otherwise you're going to get hacked, and so they sign a contract for like 20 new computers. They get overcharged. They all come with Vista, and this is all in 2008 when the collapse occurred. I mean, I connect the dots. It's like, yeah. And I was inside basically the background of every operating system. I get to see what's really going on, and it's not cool. I'm gonna run XP until I'm dead.
I used to do
Sorry.
Yeah. I used to do security for an American company, like payment security, banking security, all that payment software and stuff like that. I used to do all the security on that. That was a while ago for a company called Seagrams, drinks company. I think they were sold out. They were bought out by an entertainment company, something like Time Warner or something.
What are they doing? Warning us of time?
Time Warner.
Yeah. They're time warning us. We're almost out of time. That's why almost every corporate logo's got that swoosh in it. It's like it's one of their Masonic symbols of the recycling of Earth. The pole shift. So yeah, Time Warner. You've been warned.
Just the other day I was thinking about planet Earth, and although it may seem big to us, or at the end of the day it's just a tiny pixel in the universe. It's less, it's a tiny pixel. Not even that in the grand scheme of things in the universe, So sometimes I wonder why so much suffering occurs, and it doesn't make sense to me that, because when I look at nature, it's like, wow, the design is incredible, and when I look at physics and quantum physics, it's like the order of things is so well put together, and yet here we are still at war with each other, and nations at war, well, in our name a lot of the time, and still experiencing pain. And I wonder if perhaps, we need to send out a call sometimes an energetic call to someone or something to say we're here. Because for all we know, no one knows where we are. I don't know. Because like I say, we're just a little pixel.
Yeah, I think everything you said is absolutely perfect there. Absolutely. But like, what happens is like, we are people. And, if you, I'm sorry, but I still watch television. You watch Big Brother, you can't believe how easy it is to manipulate people. It's just like, wow. The same people, they're totally easily manipulated just by whatever Big Brother says. That's the world we live in.
Unfortunately, it's always a struggle because whenever you solve one piece of the puzzle, you get a tougher one. But supposedly you never get more than you can handle, right?
Wrong.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. I'm like, what? That was a biatch to get over.
But, you know, I'd like to say that if I had a banner, if I had to write a banner and walk out in the streets, just for the sake of writing a banner and walk out in the streets, it would say no more pain.
That's a good
one. Yeah, and I'm fed up of people seeing others suffer, and I'm fed up of my own suffering, and I don't know what, you know, I do know why, but it's this, there's so many cans of worms, there's so many mitigating factors that influence one in society. And, you know, I do see that I think people are becoming tired. I see a tiredness in society. I see a repetitiveness in society. I see a lack of new things that make one excited in society.
They knew we would be walking around looking at the ground, so that's why they introduced smartphones at the same time.
I see craziness lacking much more than it used to be. You know, people aren't spontaneous that much anymore. People are more scared to be a little crazy. Oh, God forbid, you know. And do something a little bit wild. Oh no, he's acting wild over there. Look at him, everyone. He's acting wild, you know. And there's kind of less of that, as though people are just scared to be themselves, scared to get a little bit crazy, scared to be free,
scared to
be
tell
who
the
you want to
truth.
be, and do what you want to do, you know, and speak the truth.
I think that's really, really important, because I have noticed that. Because I've most of my life, I come from a different place, Midlands, but like I've lived in London most of my life whilst I've been in England, and in England I've noticed that is exactly right, exactly what you said. It's like I don't see any kind of creativity, I don't see any kind of craziness. You can't do any if you don't do any craziness and make some mistakes, how are you going to create? They just like it just gets more humdrum. It's just so like, what is this world now?
People are afraid to live, and that shouldn't be how it is. Shouldn't be afraid to live, you know.
It's tyranny, man. They did it slowly. You know, that's kind of fits in the Darth Vader look that the cops have. It all ties in together under Agenda 21. They're going to have just one police force for the world. And the way to do it is to make people weak through fear. You know, destroy unity.
When you say they're gonna have, you see, you empower that thought form, rectify.
Well, there's always ones out there that choose the dark side.
No, but when you say they're gonna have this or they're gonna do that, you're empowering that thought form. That's a problem. You need
That's
to
what they
reword
want. That's what they have written.
No, but what I'm saying is, when you present something like that, you shouldn't present it as it's going to happen, that's going to happen, they're going to do that. Because you empower that thought form, and that empowerment, that thought form, when it's, you know, it manifests it.
It's inevitable, though. Within my faith, I know all of this is inevitable. The reason I'm here and the reason I still do what I do, and the reason I said it like I say it, is because we're just speed bumps. We're just time changers. All we can do is resist, and that's just going to push it down the road. But these plans are in stone as far as I'm concerned. Eventually, it's going to happen.
The plans might be, but the actuality of it is not set in stone. Nothing's going to happen for sure. But when you present something as though they're going to do this or this is going to happen, then what you're doing is you're solidifying, you're helping manifest that very thing. Instead of saying, well, they're planning to do this or they want to do this. A lot of people say,
I got you.
They're going to do this and they're going to do that. It's a big difference.
I got you.
But they have planned it.
Dalek. No, we'll get him back. He's got Satan in his wires.
But, I think a lot of it is a case of we mustn't be scared of being free. You played that clip earlier on about freedom. And it's just, we got to take the reins of our own destiny. We got to take the reins of our own joy. And joy and freedom go hand in hand. You can't get around that. Joy and freedom go hand in hand. When you mess with freedom, you're messing with joy. You're messing with the pursuit of happiness. And happiness is is big time priority. Happiness, it's up there in light. Happiness, the pursuit of happiness, it's up there in lights. Not forget the adverts that are in lights. Happiness, blinking at you, blink, blink, blink. It's a reminder. And when you mess with freedom, you're messing with happiness.
You know what I heard earlier? It's like I spoke earlier and I said something about an experience that happened today or yesterday. I think I just said it already. But when those Americans came into my house, they were absolutely, well, I dragged them into my house actually. I'm kind of bad like that. They were Mormons. Americans trying to talk to me, trying to change my mind about religion. I mean, that's never going to happen. And I was quite surprised that they stayed for at least 10 minutes. The Jehovah's Witness only lasted like 5 minutes. But it was really interesting. They could understand concepts that I can't really even explain to normal people. Just normal. The sort of things we're talking about now. They didn't think that was ridiculous. But in their ideas, they only had one mind. They could understand completely. But in mind, of course, and now you must become a Mormon, now you must become a Mormon, now you must become a Mormon. That was in their minds. But I didn't do that, of course, because I'm terrible. I sort of enjoyed the fact that one of them was enjoying watching, I had Matrix, the third version, on the television, and they were watching that on mute. And then the other one was looking at the internet, as if he'd never seen it before, and I just enjoyed myself. And then after that, I even tried to give them cigarettes and alcohol. That's me.
I remember I talked to a couple of Mormons. I was just outside a shop waiting for a friend. Got chatting to a couple of Mormons for about 10 minutes. While they listened to what I had to say. I was lecturing them as opposed to they were lecturing me. Yeah. Telling them about the ways of the world and what, I said, look, I understand what you're doing. And that's all fair and good because people sometimes need to hear it. But sometimes people just need to exercise or discover things for themselves, and I think that's okay as well.
Yeah, I had nothing against them because I thought I actually had more pleasure. I don't know how did you feel? I thought they were more pleasant than most of the people that I meet. They were actually wonderful.
Lioness has put a question in chat. It seems as though we're always talking about how the Bible is fiction and aliens created us, etc. So how do people justify faith at the same time? What's the deal? Justify faith, Lioness. What do you mean? Justify faith? Because everyone has a faith of some sort. I mean, faith in something, whether it's faith in the world around them, faith in their company, faith in their family, faith in their job. Everyone has an element of faith, I guess. It's not a case of justify, it's a case of just is, isn't it? People, I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, I would say that I don't like faith. Faith is some sort of formed belief that I haven't really thought about because it's just been formed within me, and I have to always be able to check what that belief is and be able to remove it if I wish to. But but generally, I don't have faith in anything. And Lioness is not exactly shy, is she? So why isn't she just calling in?
For me, faith is a precursor to knowingness. So if I have faith in something, it means I don't have all the information at hand. So it's like a temporal mindset, a temporal belief, until I can prove or affirm something to myself.
How about irony, though? What if it proves itself to you, but there's no explanation?
Irony?
Yeah, that's God smiling. When your faith gets confirmed by something very ironic, like, say, you run into someone that you just had a dream about and you haven't seen in forever, or and you were just thinking about him the day before and you said a prayer for him or something, you know? Little things like that. They happen all the time once you
I'd
start...
say more coincidence. That's coincidence, isn't it? Not irony.
No such thing as coincidence, though, not in my mind.
Irony, synchronicity, and duality. And this is the weird world that we're all living in. Very odd. It isn't easy. Nothing's easy.
Well, synchronicity, I've had a lot of cool stuff happen with synchronicity, but on a different level to what most people are used. Probably. See, a lot of people think of synchronicity as you think of someone, you bump into them, or they call up instantly. But there's different levels of synchronicity, and I think when you go down the rabbit hole of with regards to energizing yourself and raising your vibration, then what I've found is that the synchronicity can be more and more immediate to the point where you are living in synchronicity or being in synchronicity, and that is where everything responds in real time. Your environment responds in real time immediately around you, which is a weird concept, I know, but it's certainly achievable because I've been there and done it. It's very strange, it's very supernatural, and I am used to the supernatural, incidentally, but it's there, it's out there. That ability to do that is out there.
But you can even have it in the natural world. It's not just like, it isn't just supernatural. It's not going nothing to do with that. It just happens like that in the natural world. Isn't that so strange?
Well, I use the term supernatural to mean outside of the norm kind of thing, because it has connotations, that word. But paranormal, supernatural, there's some strange. You see, this is when you can amplify. This whole thing about the energy of an individual is very strange, but it's as though when you become more energetic, and this has a big correspondence to joy and excitement and freedom, and it's as though when you exercise those aspects of self and group and explore that dynamic, then there is a certain tangible sensory difference that occurs. There's an energy in the air. You can feel it in the air. The heckles on the back of your neck start to, go up as you feel those tingles down your spine. There's a change that takes place. You become more sensory, more alert, more with it. And suddenly, it's where you just you feel more. You feel more. You feel like there's something more going on. You feel super, instead of normal, you feel super sensory. And it's that energy that allows one to tap into and answer many of their own questions that they had previously to do with faith. So, it's, again, going back to the faith thing, it doesn't need to be a question mark. This is the whole point. You can turn that question mark that is faith into a knowingness, into a self-affirmation. And if you're lucky, into a group affirmation. That's the wonderful part. That's the wonderful dynamic. When you get into a group environment, you can look around you and everyone gets it. Everyone's feeling it. Everyone's in the moment. There's a magic there. And it's that magic that you can take to the next level and the next level and the next level and use that those findings or that experience to better understand the world around you and to evolve. Literally to evolve as an individual, And evolution's being stifled. Evolution is being suppressed. Stagnation is the enemy of evolution. And at the moment we have a lockdown in terms of the paradigm that we're living in. and there is a reason for that lockdown, is because we're sending a lot of money and a lot of power in a certain direction, and they want to keep it that way. But the effect of that is it puts a dampener on evolution. It's
This is what I've been saying. Totally agree with you. Totally, 100. That's what I've been saying too. But like, yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying there. So it's not a dampener though. There is always have hope, and everything is going to change anyway. You can see it's going to change just by seeing how bad the naughty boys are getting.
Saying it's going to change,
so
ain't going to change it.
Yeah.
Saying it's going to change ain't going to change nothing.
You don't think so?
You have to be the change. And as for this, when Obama came to power, and this change rubbish that he was talking about was the opposite. His intent was the complete opposite. We don't want change. It wasn't the opposite. Every time he said change, you could have interpreted it as we don't want change. We don't want change. You know?
He said we need change. He didn't say how he's going to change.
What are you talking about?
You certainly did get change. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Change. He upped the Bush thing, and that's he went even further. It's like, what? You got change, not the change you expected.
Yeah, well, change for me is radical change. Change for me is, you know, from my point of view, he bastardized the term. You know, he tainted the very word. You know, because change means radical. You know, I mean, it's like if you got into power, imagine the things that you could do. You know, imagine the things. Power, you know, actually using power is about using your power. If someone comes into power and they do nothing to better the world and society in real terms. I mean, is there anything a president's ever done that's directly made your life better? I doubt it very much.
No.
It's probably worse.
And finish this one. Power corrupts and...
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. But it's not true. Right. He got Osama bin Laden, dang it. Come on. Yeah. He did that for the world.
I mean, if I were president, I'd have certain days, you know, I'd introduce certain days during the year. Like, there'd be a day where you could speak your mind day, right? There'd be a come to work as you are day. There'd be a silence day. There'd be a, you know, I'd be comedic. I'd be like, hey, this is about fun, you know, let's have some fun. Let's be good to one another. Let's, you know, there are only certain laws that we need to adhere to, which is not harm.
I want to know why your parliament.
Sorry?
Why can't your parliament and our congressmen and women, why can't they just use video Skype for their conference calls and let us watch that way? Why do I have to pay thousands of dollars for these beautiful jet flights across the country to meet?
Because they want bums on seats. They want control. And another thing that happened is also with what Wingman was just saying there is like, what happens when you have those days of like, say I worked for a certain bank at one point, and they said like you can come in any clothes you want, and so I come in my clothes, and quite honestly, I'm kind of outrageous. So like, so I just came in these clothes. And for years later, they didn't realize anything about the good stuff that I'd done. Well, it wasn't good stuff, but like a well-executed project. They didn't realize that. What they thought about was like the clothes that I was wearing that particular day. Mm-hmm. That is how the mind works, you know.
Yeah, we're just like, you know, I mean, what would you want? What would you, if someone came into power, what would, someone's at the door, can someone get the door please while I just finish this off? What would you, if you could envisage the ideal leader that came into power that was with it, that was hip, you know, what would you envisage that they would do? What would you like them to do?
It would have to be a child. I'm sorry, it would have to be a child. And unfortunately, it's hard because a child has not been taught, as long as a child has been taught how to live, this would be wonderful. But like, it would have to be the child. And then the child will be able to make us live correctly. But that I think is possible.
Be a wise child.
We've been joined by two lovely ladies, Dorriebar and Miss Lioness. How are you girls doing?
Hello, everyone. We're doing good. I'm very well, thank you.
Late.
Welcome to the Gray Zone.
I said, like, what time did I say? And look what time it is now, guys. I mean, you're well late.
Yeah, we are late because we were, like, talking, and then we were talking in chat with Bo and all them, and we're like, man, we gotta go. Because we were right privately, we were like, we gotta get on the show. It's getting late. I have a question for Wingman. Who is your president?
Who is my president? Wow.
Of your country.
Is that actually or metaphorically?
No, actually, who is your president of your country?
Cameron.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. Is he good at what he does, or do you like the way he runs your country, or no?
Oh, he's an Ivy School equivalent, you know. He's got no clue what real life's all about, and is you know, Ivy League type educated. And I don't know who he is. I don't know him. I don't know where he came from. He just suddenly emerged from the woodwork, out the shadows, and is suddenly leading the country. I mean, who is he? I don't know who he is.
And we don't know who Obama is either in our country, but it's just funny how you talk about him, and I'm like, well, I've never heard about your president. No, I'm not knocking you or anything. I'm just saying I don't know anything about. You're New Zealand, correct? Please don't get me wrong. Or you're England. I think you're New Zealand, if I'm correct.
New Zealand? No, UK.
But were you from New Zealand, or you're always from the UK?
No,
Why did I even think that? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry, because then Jairo obviously has the same president. I apologize.
I'm a citizen of the globe.
I thought it was New Zealand. I don't know why I would think that. I'm sorry. Oh, I know who your president is then. I'm like,
the only reason I mentioned Obama.
New Zealand's theirs is John Donkey. Oh, John Key. Sorry.
Who's from New Zealand? That was one of our friends then. Do you guys know?
Mm-mm.
I swear it was one of us. I'm sorry. Well, it wasn't me, obviously, but...
New Zealand, Vinny. Were you talking to Vinny?
Oh, maybe. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, you...
Eastwood.
Yeah, that's who it is. Okay.
I think John Stray also.
It was somebody. I know they were talking about their president, but I never heard the name, so I don't follow up on New Zealand, but, you know. Yeah, we know what our president's doing. We know this is a corporation. I think we all get it. It's just funny because it gives us something to talk about, and then we laugh, and then we see all the bad things happening. Yeah, he changed it, right?
Well, do we laugh? I don't think we laugh enough.
But he did
I don't laugh.
Well, he did exactly
what
he said he would do. He said there's change, and he made changes. It's worse now than it was ever.
That's the point.
He changed it worse. It's still a change. That's exactly what he did. You think this is going to change anything in our lives? Like, how many lifetimes do we have to come? Like, whether it was Kennedy or, he's the best president. Like, nobody really knows his life and what he was doing behind the scenes. You can't even look at a president to think, this is a corporation.
All right, I'll talk about some of the change real quick. Okay, if you cross the North Korean border illegally, you get 12 years of hard labor. If you cross the Iranian border illegally, you're detained indefinitely. If you cross the Afghan border illegally, you get shot. If you cross the Saudi Arabian border illegally, you will be jailed. If you cross the Chinese border illegally, you may never be heard from again. If you cross the Venezuelan border illegally, you will be branded a spy and your fate will be sealed. If you cross the Cuban border illegally, you will be thrown into political prison to rot. If you cross the U.S. border illegally, this has changed. You get a job, a driver's license, social security card, welfare, food stamps, credit cards, subsidized rent or a loan to buy a house, free education, free health care, a lobbyist in Washington, billions of dollars worth of public documents printed in your language, the right to carry your country flag while you protest that you don't get enough respect, and in many instances, you can vote.
So, R3, then is this really an illegal border crossing, or is it a subversion of our own culture, an invasion?
I'm starting to wonder if they have to market
an invasion if they pulled up buses to get these people in there.
But if their soldiers about to be activated, they already have
they're going to activate. Then let it be. So, yeah, we're getting screwed on all that. We always have been. This is nothing new. But everybody has to talk about it. We get so upset about it. So we're thinking. These are women and children right now.
That's for zombies.
Hey, they're not in Arizona desert, honey. Going to get all the guys that are going with 2 bottles of water, trying to cross the Arizona desert, trying to make money for their families.
I think
I have empathy, but it's a little overboard.
I don't have empathy for anyone.
Well, even more, I'm hearing 4 to 9-year-old children with knapsacks coming over with nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's BS. I've seen pictures of some cameras snuck.
It was in a Catholic institution in Riverside, California. Did you hear what he said, the diocese? Did you hear what he said today? Oh, yes, we were told by Homeland Security that they were coming here. We said there was only one sick kid out of all the kids who had the flu, just like you and I would have, the same BS story they give you. And that they went to go find their families, is what they said. Where did they come? Everybody's asking what they're going to take from us. Why don't you just ask the question, why are they here?
The pictures I seen in the hangar where they're housing
Why? I want to know why.
It looked like a prison, first of all. Same doors and everything. They had them packed. And not just that, there were more young men, looked like, MS-13 members, than there were women and children in this picture. These were cameras snuck in because you're not allowed to have these cameras in. They don't want anything out. Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
Hey, R3 and Dory, I just want to address you all. I think this whole women and children is it's a psyop. It's to make us feel empathy for the women and children, when in fact, R3, I agree with you. It's far more than that. It's
something
MS-13.
Sneaky. This has nothing to do with what's behind the scenes. Nothing at all. Because nobody's looking at the big pictures. They're only complaining about what we're getting taken from.
If you also want to go towards the humanitarian issues of the diseases, I'm in public health and I intake refugees and immigrants all the time. And there is a huge battery of tests that they have to go through in order to get in, because there's just parasites and things that they do carry. It's just fact. And you don't want tuberculosis in this country. Oh my goodness. We've got it pretty much under control, but and they're saying, oh, TB is not all that hard to spread. Well, I beg to differ. I've treated them and had to wear those stifling masks like a gas mask just to go into their home. We meet out on the front porch. It is truly easily transferable, okay? It's just it's transferred by air.
Isn't the way you die also, you basically drown to death in your own blood and your lungs? You aspirate?
Okay, Arthur. Yeah, if it gets really bad, but we have treatments for it, but it's expensive. And I'll tell you. Okay, check this out. Okay, for somebody that has active tuberculosis in this country, an RN has to go to their house every single day, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, every holiday for more than a year, and watch them swallow a handful of pills.
Because all the family members that come over that might be unchecked.
No, because that's how you control tuberculosis. It's a hardy bacteria that when many people test positive. You know that little TB skin test you get?
Yeah, the pinprick.
Okay. Yeah, so if that swells up and gives the red mark, that means you have been exposed to the TB virus, right, or bacteria. And I'm sorry, I can't determine which right now.
The bug.
So if you want to get rid of that, that's only 9 months of medication. 9 months of daily pills of medication. I've given it to infants, 1-year-old, 2-year-olds. You know how hard it is to make those kids take that? Okay. But if you have active tuberculosis, it is well over a year, and it is a handful of pills, and you have to go every single day. It's called DOT. Direct observation therapy. A nurse has to go to their home and watch them swallow their pills every single day for well over a year. And I'll tell you, I have no problem with Hispanics coming into our country the right way, but here's what happens. They go back to see their family at Christmas. So say you've been treating them for 7 months. Okay, because you can be reinfected. Then they go back at Christmas. They stay a month. They come back. You finish your 3 or 4 or 5 months of treatment, and then they're still infected with active tuberculosis. It's a humongous deal. Scabies is not that big of a deal. Tuberculosis is, and God knows what else. There's lots of other things.
Hepatitis.
No, that's not. Well,
hepatitis, isn't hepatitis what, B or C? It's the big one.
Hepatitis C is the big one. Hepatitis B is endemic in third world countries, more Asian countries. And even that is not treatable, but you can prevent You can prevent from passing it on to your children when you're pregnant if you will tell people, but there is a stigma on it, and so the women choose not to tell. And I'll tell you, I've had a woman one time that just refused to admit and refused to take the treatment, and her child within 30 days was yellow, hepatitis. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I've had hepatitis, the worst, the bad one, before. I was in isolation in hospital, in the isolation ward.
Hepatitis A is from food, typically. Hepatitis B is just endemic in other countries, and hepatitis C is a truly terrible one. I mean, they all are. They're all inflammation of the liver. So anytime you affect your liver, it's a problem.
What's the symptoms of C?
Advanced C is going to be like any other liver disease, okay? Jaundice, ascites, swelling of the belly, your eyes, the whites of your eyes will turn yellow. Here are the two big symptoms for hepatitis or liver failure. When your urine turns dark like tea, like iced tea.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay, and your feces turns white.
And I was all yellow, and I was not allowed to see anyone. Well, not without masks and stuff.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Judy. What did you say? How did the feces turns white? This is an experience that's not happened to me so far. So what do I have to do? Hepatitis A or B or C or whatever I have to do? What do I have to do? Very strange.
Okay, the main things that you will notice with liver failure. Okay, hepatitis, hepa means liver. Itis is inflammation. So it's all inflammation of the liver, and there are various kinds, right? Okay, your main liver dysfunction signs will be your urine turns dark and your feces turns light.
Ah, yes. I can understand that, yes. That would make sense. Because like if you drink too much, that's what happens to your when your liver goes strange. I'm sorry, but that's true. That your urine turns dark.
What if you have clear urine and your feces are fine, and you can't seem to urinate like you used to? It seems like there's always a bladder full. Like the times you urinate, the throughout the frequency of urination throughout the day, it's gone way down.
Well, there's a lot more to that. Then I would ask
prostate cancer.
Well, prostate issues, or many other things. Okay, measure your intake versus your output, liquid-wise. Okay, but the major signs are when your urine turns dark like tea, and your feces will turn light gray. Those things people notice. If you ask somebody on the street that says, "Hey, I think I've got liver problems," you say, "Is your feces white?" They'll say, "Oh my God, yes," because they notice that kind of thing.
Right.
All right. But up until that point, it could be a variation of other things. There could be, yes, a prostate issue, a urinary tract issue, any other kind of issues. Hepatitis, however, like I said, the two big signs are dark urine and light feces.
All right. Well, Julie, I think people are completely disgusting. I don't know why are they looking at their bits and pieces?
Well,
it's like the Germans.
If you look poison.
Did you stop it? The Germans have toilets that actually collect your business before you flush it, so you have to inspect it.
A toilet
this is disgusting
doctor.
To me.
That's awesome.
Disgraceful. Ugh.
Hey,
no.
Jairo.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a nurse, and I can talk about feces all day long. There's 100 different kinds, 100 different colors, and it says a whole lot. Well, let's face it. What you feed your body will affect your body, and what comes out then is an important indicator of what's happening. And that's a huge part of how we tell in the medical industry. I mean, just for your couple of basic questions, what's coming out, right? And if it's dark urine and light feces, boy, bing bang, we go straight to the liver.
Yes.
But also to bear in mind, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
Well, something like that. You know, we put so much rubbish and toxins into us at the moment, and there's such a lack of real food that is available out there.
Even lobster.
It's hard to find real foods really nowadays, and it's expensive to find real food, and that's a problem in itself.
I think most of us are changing. We don't even want food anymore. I don't know about you guys, but there's like 20 at least that I've seen that I only eat once a day, at least. Yeah. If I don't, I won't eat at all. Unless my husband tells me I have to eat dinner. Like, I'll cook for him constantly. He's like, did you eat? Did you eat? What do you have for dinner? You got something for dinner? Like, he'll push me to eat.
Big time.
I'm doing the same thing, Dorrie.
Yep, exactly.
But the problem is that my body can't exist in the same form it did before.
Right.
I've become really more and more slim every single day, and it feels like my bones become more and more brittle. There's something
weird.
happening.
Yeah, I just can't, and I sleep different, and I used to sleep like a rock. I slept at least 9-10 hours, not even close. I go to bed at 3 now, wake up at 6. Yep. You know, I might take a half-hour nap in the afternoon. Other than that, nothing, and no food. I'm not hungry.
I agree, Dorrie. I could eat once a day or once every couple of days and be just fine. Just fine. And I even went to the doctor the other day and I said, I'm feeling a little heavier than my normal weight, okay, which is, my weight is perfect for my height, okay, BMI and all of that. But I thought, I'm feeling a little heavy. Nope, 4 pounds lighter. Not that I'm trying. I've never been one of those that has to watch my weight. Sorry for those of you that do. That's not me. And so I agree with you. Food is like, it's not important. It's just not important. I only do it to survive.
I have a possible, I got something that we can go out on because we only got a couple minutes left. It's a 2-minute clip, but it's part of my theory on why all this change is going on to our bodies and our minds and our gifts and our spirits, and everything is changing. Our sleep patterns, eating patterns. But everybody get out a final word, and I'm going to play a 2-minute clip to take us out on the theories that could be true, might not be true. But take a listen. But yeah, everybody have a great week. Have a good Tuesday. And thank you for calling Dorrie, Julie, Jairo, and Wingman. Thanks for being there with me, buddy.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you all.
Love me, say that you love me.
I love you.
All right, guys, here you go. Peace out. Much love.
Bye-bye.
We've discussed how a coming solar grand minimum may lead to global cooling via a number of solar and cosmic ray forcing mechanisms. From professors, ex-IPCC scientists, and even former members of Greenpeace, we recently learned that the rainforest is much younger than most people realize. It wasn't there just a few thousand years ago. Earth changes on different time scales than we realize. Now here's the bad news for the evening. We knew that the magnetic field of Earth has been weakening, and we recently discussed potential consequences of a continued shift in a video called Superflood. But the rate of failure is confirmed now to be much worse than any of us have imagined. We discussed the corresponding polar reversal of the planet, and we now have confirmation from the mission manager of Swarm that the reversal is likely a primary cause of the magnetic weakening. One thing the observations cannot agree with, however, is their timescales. At this rate of change, the reversal would happen multiple times in 1,000 years, and that's just not reality. What is reality is that maybe it was stable for hundreds or thousands of years, but now that the shift has begun, it's going to happen rapidly. Just look at these jumps. Do the math in your head. At this rate, we don't have hundreds of years left before Earth's magnetic reversal, and this will greatly enhance the cosmic ray influx, the energy that makes it down to the troposphere and enhances the cloud cover to reflect more sunlight, cooling the planet. The solar energy is weakening as well, and our climate change playlist, linked below, is a pretty strong case for the other kind of climate change. Maybe, just maybe, this planet changes on much shorter timescales than we've realized, or at least what the experts are willing to admit. 10% weakening in 150 years, another 5% in just 10 years, and now it's fading 10 times faster. You do the math.
Listening to Revolution Radio. Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message. These guys are hammers, and to hammers everything looks like nails.
I heard that.
You were meant to. So you see something that's important, you call it out, we'll make it happen.
Okay. Mother Nature is a serial killer. No one's better, more creative. Like all serial killers, she can't help the urge to want to get caught. What good are all those brilliant crimes if no one takes the credit? So she leaves crumbs. Now the hard part is seeing the crumbs for the clues they are. Sometimes the thing you thought was the most brutal aspect turns out to be the chink in its armor. And she loves disguising her weaknesses as strengths.
If you can fight, fight.
Hello? Is there anyone out there hearing this?
Help each other.